Okay. I guess I am live. I don't know where Gracie disappeared to. Gracie! Gracie! Where's Mommy's Gracie? Come here. Are you in the shade? Okay. There's a good puppy. Come here. It's a hot one. There's a good girl. Okay. Yes, I know it's hot. It is hot in the sun. There's not a cloud in the sky. And it is a scorcher. And Gracie being a dark puppy. Gracie, don't lay in the sun, you silly girl. It's too hot for that. Come on, Gracie. You gonna come in here with Mommy? What can I say? Or maybe she's gonna go back in the house. I should go find a cool spot to sit. Good morning, Christy. Or afternoon. Oh, it feels like morning. Yeah, glad to see you made it. And I made it. Oh, man, it is hot. And we got the next 2 days, they're calling for 90-degree temperatures. I am not looking forward to that. I am trying so hard to not put the air conditioners in. I am trying really hard. I can tolerate it during the day with a fan going. But if the nights are too hot, I don't know. Hey, Trish, you made it too, man. That's wonderful. And Raven's Nature, and man, the whole party's getting together here. It's 97 here. Oh, man. 105 on Tuesday. Ooh. Okay, I couldn't do it. 97, 105, could not do it. The air conditioners would be going in. I would be breaking a sweat, getting them in, but they would be in with those temperatures. I'm sorry. I do have my limits. 80s, I can manage. That is just, yeah. 80s, I can manage with just a fan. 90, if it's just for 2 days, can I make it? Can I survive 90s for 2 days? Beyond, but if we were talking a week of 90-degree temps, I would have to put the air conditioners in. There's just no way. And I'm keeping tabs on the temperatures. I don't know. Do you have your AC in, Trish, or do you have central air or something? Because I don't think I could do it. I told my Amish guys that I'm trying real hard because they don't have AC, and they wear long pants and sleeves on their shirts. And it's like, I don't know how they manage. All the yard work gets done at 6 a.m. Yes. Oh, you got to. I'm not hardly doing anything. Between, I'll say 11, 12 o'clock, and even the 12 o'clock's pushing it, but until like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when I'm doing my work. And Off-Kilter Homestead joined us. They were raised with, natural acclimation to being hot. And that's exactly what they say. They tell me that, if you're used to it, you acclimate to it. So I'm trying. The thing is, hey, Joe, you made it 54 here. Oh, man. Oh, no, I could handle that. I really could. If it gets too hot and humid, I can't do it. I get sick. Literally, I get sick, Hello, Angel. Angel decided she's going to come in and see what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, but yeah, I just, and we didn't have air conditioning in Alabama. Oh, man, that had to have been rough. I remember when we got our first air conditioner, when I was, let me see here. I was around 13, and that air conditioner went in my parents' bedroom so that my dad could get a good night's sleep so he could go to work in the morning. That's right. Angel, what are you doing? Come here, you ornery thing. She's going to knock my rigged up table here. Come here, ornery. Angel. She got to be involved. So if there's any kind of shaking, it's because of Angel. Okay. See here. That's all is here right now. Walk outside and it's so humid. It's like you're standing. Oh, yes. Humidity. If 90 with less humidity, maybe I can do it. I don't know. Definitely don't tolerate heat or cold very well anymore. Yeah, I am finding I used to be okay with the cold, but I'm finding anymore that it's starting to bother me some. But at least I don't get sick with it. I just don't have any motivation to move. Oh, that's a good. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just, what are you gonna do? But if I get sick, I can't work, and it will take me down. So we'll see. Right now, I'm in my barn. There's not much of a breeze, but I'm not in the direct sun. So if I was out in the direct sun, there'd be no way I could do this. Thankfully, the chicken coop that I am trying to build, once the sun gets over a certain point, it has quite a bit of shade, so I can buy Angel. That was short-lived. So yeah, there's shade over where I'm working, so I can actually work on it. Of course, I didn't get too much. Well, I didn't get anything done on it yesterday, but that's because we went to a livestock auction. Actually, it's not just livestock. There was livestock, and there was a whole bunch of other odds and ends, all kinds of stuff. It was myself and my husband did go. I wondered how well he would do, and I'm thinking he probably should not have gone because it got quite hot, and there was no place to sit, really. I moved to Greenland if I could keep all my American freedoms. Yeah, I hear ya. You can always put more clothes on. That's right. On the other hand, yeah, exactly. You just can't take any more off. This t-shirt or tank top is a very thin material. Okay, and that's why I have this one and I have an orange one, and the orange one is about worn to threadbare. This one hasn't gotten worn as much, so you may see this a lot. I was stationed in Greenland during World War II. Okay. So that was a few years ago. But yeah, so we went to this auction, and it was two Amish families that I transport. Well, I took the one couple with me and their little boy on the trip over, and then my friend and his wife joined us on the way back. And because my husband was with us, he ended up sitting in the very back of the truck. So we teased him. We were going to just strap him to the roof of the car, the truck, and or maybe trailer. We took the trailer with us, and it's like that we've been talking about going to this auction for about a week now. They told me about it more than a few weeks back, and we've been talking about it for a week. And on Friday, no, it wasn't Friday, it was Thursday, because they didn't work on Friday. But on Thursday, I got to thinking, I said, you know what? They got all that stuff there. Maybe we ought to consider taking the trailer with us. And they said, yeah, I think that's a good idea. So we took the trailer with us, and just in case, I took my large dog crate with me. Now, I have one other dog crate that I haven't gotten cleaned out yet. It's down in the pasture. I just haven't gotten it up here yet. Thank you, Trish. And so just in case, we took my large dog crate, and we strapped that down. And I took 2 of my Muscovy drakes. Yes, I can tell mostly now which ones are drakes and which ones are hens. There's a few yet that are still kind of like, are they drakes or are they hens? They're pretty close, you know. So, but there was 2 that I was definitely sure were drakes, and one was one that I wanted to cull anyway because he was all white, and I really don't want all white. I want color, and the drakes that I'm keeping have the black crest. They have black on their heads, and so that will, with breeding, I can expand the color. So that's my plan. So the all white drake, he went. Yeah, that's the guineas squawking away. Yeah, it's gotten to the point where I almost ignore them. Sometimes they get a little bit obnoxious. So anyway, and I got the horses right behind that wall there. It's hot this time of day. They are in the barn. You know, they get, because they have that extended roof line, they get a little bit better of a breeze, but at the same time they're in the shade. So no, don't have geese yet. No, don't have geese. I'll tell you though, I was tempted at the auction yesterday because they had a few singles and a few pairs of geese. It's like, do I want to deal with geese? I would have put them up at the pond, and I just wasn't really sure I wanted to deal with geese because that's another whole different ball game. So anyway, yeah. So I was talking about the auction. So we get there. We leave at I was late picking up the one couple. He wanted to leave by 6. But by the time I got everything done, I didn't have everything set up, ready to go the night before. I was close, but I was so tired Friday night that there's a couple things I should have done that I didn't do. And so I was late getting out of here Friday morning or Saturday morning. Yeah, Saturday morning. So we so once I had everything loaded up and I finally got over there, and we hit the road about I think we finally got on the road by 6:30 because the guy, he had to ratchet my ducks in the crate down a little bit better. I was going to put the ducks inside the crate, but I was afraid I wouldn't be able to reach all the way back to get the second duck. So, I mean, it's got 2 doors on the crate, so maybe I would have been able to do it, but I don't know. I just put them, I started to build crates to take the ducks with. Okay, started to build them. I had my first frame cut, and I was getting ready to put the first nail in, and I got a phone call. One of the guys needed to go to the bank, and it's like, you know, if I take you, then I will not get these crates built. I know I won't, and I have to get them built. And he says, well, if you take me, I'll build your crates for you. And I thought, you know what? You will probably get them done a whole lot faster than I would. It's like, I still have to think my way through. I'm not as experienced as they are with working with stuff and putting stuff together. I muddle my way through. I do get it done eventually, but I'm just not as fast as they are. And I'll admit it, you know. There are certain time-saving tips that I have picked up over the years, but I'm just not as well-versed as they are with it. So anyway, so he came over after I took him to the bank, and he built my crates for me. I had a pretty good idea of how I wanted it to work. I wanted the ducks to have plenty of ventilation. I wanted people to be able to see clearly what the ducks were, you know, how good a condition they were in. And at the same time, I wanted to be able to offer them water by having them stick their neck out, because I couldn't figure out how to secure water in the crates with them. So I had them leave space in between boards so they could stick their head out when I offered them water. And that worked well, at least for the one duck anyway. The other one, I don't know, he just wasn't as bright as the one, because he didn't stick his head through. But I poured some water on him, and he got some from off his back and whatnot. So the other one, I managed to get him turned around to stick his head through and drink out of a cup. So, but anyway, so my ducks went to auction, and they were near, because we got a late start. They were near the back of the livestock that they had. They had a small livestock, which was mostly, your birds, and they had rabbits, and they also had a few guinea pigs, and they had 3 crates of some type of small breed pig. I asked several times what it was, and the guy couldn't remember, but he said that they were a small breed. They kind of looked like they could have been American guinea hog or potbelly pig, or maybe a blend. I don't know, but they were a small breed. And but without knowing for sure, I wasn't going to go for them. And besides, I'm not set up for pigs. I'm just not even. It'll be a long time before I even consider getting pigs, if I ever do, honestly. But they had 3 crates, and there was 1 male and 3 females in each one. Okay. Now, hopefully, now they had them all in under shade. Okay. All the animals, all the birds, and the pigs, they were in shade, but it still got warm. It really did. It was, at one point, I was standing outside the corral for the larger livestock, and that was, the sun was beating down on me, and at one point I was like this close to not being able to be there. But then they had a break, and they were going on to livestock that I wasn't really interested in bidding on, so I went and I sat down for a little while where there was some shade. But it got quite hot about midday. So anyway, I hung around the livestock for 2 reasons. One, because of the shade, and also there's a nice breeze blowing in here now. And 2, because I wanted to see how my ducks did. Duck, and I think it was a Muscovy that went early on, went for $17.50. I remember hearing that. It's like, that's not bad. It's not a bad price. And what mine brought, by the time they finally got around to them, and most of the people had cleared away from the auction. Okay, there's very few bidders left out there. And they were selling tons of, they had chickens and chicks. I mean, if anybody couldn't get chicks because the hatcheries were out, all they had to do was go to that auction, because they had tons of them. It was, we did have fun, even though in spite of the heat, it was fun. If it had been a little bit cooler, we would have had lots of fun, I think. And I think even the heat kind of, wore my husband out a little bit more. But he said he wanted to go, so he went. But whether or not he goes again, I don't know. At least not this time of year. He may not. Apparently, they do this auction in the fall too. Oh, excuse me, I just ate something. So, okay, yeah. I am dragging my feet. Do you want to know how much my ducks brought? Do you have any interest at all in what they brought? I will wait and see if anybody's interested. I think we're dragging a little bit. So, but yeah, there were peacocks. They had peacocks there, and full-grown turkeys, toms, and a couple hens. Okay, Trish has an interest in it. Anybody else interested in knowing how much my okay, Joe, that's two votes. What we got? We got 6 people in here. Can we get a few more yes votes? Yeah, I'm dragging my feet. I'm going to have some fun. I tend to blurt things out pretty quick, you know, and then you know, it's all done and that's it. And it's like I talk too fast sometimes, I think. I'm guessing 1975. No. Remember, Trish, it was near the end of the auction. So there weren't very many bidders. So we weren't going to have any kind of bidding war or anything like that because, you know, there had to have been at least 2 people bidding for them because the price did go up, but not a lot. Okay. And I had them clearly labeled because they weren't mature enough yet to have their carbuncles formed yet. You know, the red that they get around their face. You're getting warmer, Trish. So I had to make sure they were clearly labeled that they were Muscovy. I didn't want people to think they were Pekings or some other weird breed. But so they went for $15 for one and $16 for the second one. And that really, considering, that's not bad. That is not bad. So I figured that I paid about a little bit better, I think, than $6 a piece for each duckling. So, and yeah, it's a little bit high, especially considering I didn't get exactly what I wanted. But so I got $9 and $10. Well, actually, part of that money, I don't know what the percentage is that the auction house takes, but thank you, Trish. But yeah, they'll take a percentage off, and I don't know what their percentage is. It's usually not that high. And I think they have a cap on it. I don't know. I'm not sure how they operate. I'll find out when I get the check in the mail. So, which hopefully will be by the end of the week. All depends on how punctual they are. This is my first time selling anything at an auction here in Kentucky. So it was a good experience. It wasn't quite as well. The one I went to up in New Jersey, they had some issues, so they had to be a little bit more precise with how they brought things in, but they still weren't bad. They had their system down and it worked. The only issue they had was with bidders not being aware of how they handle the auction. You know, you usually get that with first timers. But when he was selling the livestock, if it was like if I had put my drakes in one crate, okay, you would have been bidding on the price per single creature, okay, per single bird or whatever. But whatever was in that cage, then it was times that number. Like if it was a crate with 6 chickens in it, okay, your price at which you were bidding was per head, okay. So say the bid went up to $6. That's $6 for one bird, but you're buying 6, so you times that by 6, okay. So that would have been 36. Yeah, $36 for a crate of chickens, okay. So and I guess he had issues with people not quite understanding that. I guess when they went up to pay for their purchase, they said, "Oh no, I only bought one." No, there's this many in there, and that's the price per head. And I guess they had some people just not understanding that. So, but anyway, you got to really pay attention to the rules when you're at an auction. Yeah. Some other things that I saw at the auction. I was looking at the possibility of a calf to raise for beef for my family, if I could get something at a decent price. Now, they had the vast majority of the livestock that I saw there was in good shape. Okay. Looked to be well cared for. Uh, you know, you had older ones and you had younger ones, and there's certain things that go along with age and whatnot. And if you're experienced with livestock, you understand that. And it's not through any fault of the farm or what have you that's caring for them. It's just, there's certain things you just cannot prevent. But actually there was very little of that. Everything looked really good. I looked it all over. Even all the birds that were in the crates and whatnot. I saw some where the feathers had been worn off, or you could tell telltale sign of a favorite hen. Okay, there was a couple of those, not too many, just a couple, and that's to be kind of expected. Anytime I had one, if it got really bad, I would separate her out, give her a break from the rooster. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Some people don't go to that extent for their chickens. It's a farming community, and you had a lot of Amish, a lot of Mennonite, but basically they're all in good body condition. However, there was this pair of Holstein calves, and they were on the thin side. The one was so thin. I said to my friend, because I had asked him to go in and take a look at the calves for me, see what he thought. And I said to him, that calf looks so bad. He would be lucky if he got $10 for it. And to be perfectly honest, the auction that I dealt with in New Jersey probably would not have even accepted that calf for bid, for consignment. Because they were very strict. But this is different down here. It's not the same. It's not as tightly regulated. And I really don't think that it was very sad. And I had said if it brings $10, he's lucky. So they came through into the sale corral, and that one that was really bad, you could see his hind end was shaking, like he was barely able to stand up. He was that bad. There was nothing in his rumen, nothing. Now I'll tell you. Now you think if an animal's thin, it means there's a lack of groceries. Not necessarily. There could have been an underlying issue. There could have been a birth defect where he wasn't able to digest his food. There could have been some kind of a disease, a worm load. There's a multitude of things. Some treatable, some not. Okay, that could be the problem with that calf. Okay, I'm just putting that out there. It's not necessarily just lack of groceries, even though that is the first thing you think of, and that is the first thing you try to deal with. Okay, but you also, in the meantime, you're doing that. You're also exploring other possible issues as well. Okay, I dealt with that with a horse I had. I had given her away, and she came back to me, and she was a walking skeleton. Okay, so anyway, we did get her back to rights, but it took us a while. I dealt with the groceries issue, okay, and I did what I could to make it so that she was getting nutrition. But there are other things that we explored as well, okay. And once we got it nailed down as to what the problem was, then I attacked it, and it took me a while. It took me a long time, but finally, I got her up looking really good. Exactly, and it's very sad. So anyway, the two went through, and when there's more than one animal going through that corral, he said the price bid will be per head, but and the winner of the bid has a choice as to whether or not they want to take just one or more than one. Okay, they have the choice. And $10 was bid. They started the bid, wasn't very high that they started the bid for those two, but it came down to $10. And that's when someone, bid the $10, and that was as high. Nobody else bid on it. And they chose the better of the two. And then he put out there, does anybody else want this other calf for $10? I came this close to putting my card up. If nobody had taken it, I would have. Okay. But the thing is, I'll tell you right now, as bad as that calf was, I don't know that it would have survived the trip coming back home. I really don't know that it would have. But I had said to my friend, at $10, yeah, I might take it, because you can afford to lose $10. Well, I can't really afford to lose $10, but the off chance that I might have been able to bring it back, and it would have been a gamble, is what it would have been. I'd do it for 10. I wouldn't do it for 100. I wouldn't do it for 50. $10, yeah, I'd consider doing that. But thankfully, somebody else stepped up and took that calf. Now, what the end of that calf it was going to be, I have no way of knowing, because I have no idea who even got him. Yeah, I think it was a boy. So, but, could have been a good deal, or could have been just money thrown away. Nobody knows, So that was the heartbreak of the auction. But thankfully, that was the only one, and the auctioneer was disgusted by it too, I think it might not even be viable for slaughter if it was sick. Well, it depends. I mean, at that age, it wouldn't have been anyway. But if it's an illness that can be treated and they recover with no ill side effects, then yeah, eventually, as it grew, yeah, you could slaughter it, but the chances were very slim. I mean, one of the first things that I would have done if I had gotten that calf, this auction was right next door to a Dollar General. One of the first things I would have done is I would have sent somebody over there to get my first choice would have been molasses, get a bottle of molasses. But if they couldn't get a bottle of molasses, then a bottle of corn syrup. Okay. And I don't remember if Dollar General carries either one, because I don't usually buy either one. And I had water. I would have been drenching that calf with some molasses water, just to give it something to feed on, energy wise. Give it some energy. I would have gone with that to begin with, and I would have kept it cool and just done what I could for it. But like I said, I don't know that it would have survived the trip back. I really don't. So, but anyway, the other calves. Oh, Guinea, you're noisy. Somebody wants to get their 2 cents in. They're right behind the computer, right behind it. Now it's walking off. Oh, man, I tell you. So anyway, all the other calves and cows that went, they were all good looking. Okay. Yeah, I tell you, at times they're funny, and at times they're frustrating. There was several Black Angus type calves. Now, I was looking at them for size. I couldn't take a larger calf because I don't think it would have fit in the crate. Okay, but there was a couple smaller ones. There was one that was a weanling. It had just been weaned. Okay, small enough. It would have fit in my large dog crate. I'm pretty sure it would have. And I was going to bid on that, but I'm not real good with auctions. Yeah, I can sell, but as to bidding, I'm not real good at it. Well, hi, Pine Meadows. How you doing, Jerry? How nice of you to join us. I see you've got some new chicks, I hear. So, yeah. So anyway, I came home with no beef at all. And that's fine, because I really don't know if I would have been able to handle it. I don't know. It was an idea because the price of beef is so high, and we really have not been eating very much of it because of that. So that was the only reason why. I mean, I was even considering getting a feeder calf. Gonna go film some more today. Oh, I hope it's so cooler there than it is here. Oh, goslings. I have on lockdown one guinea egg. We gathered up eggs that were being laid in the guinea coop, and there was like 2 dozen. I put them in the incubator, and after a reasonable amount of time, I candled every one of them. There was only one that was even doing anything. And I almost did not put that one in the incubator because it was so much larger than the others. I thought, well, maybe that's a double yolker. And double yolkers don't usually develop well. So I said, you know what? Why not? It's only one. Put it in there, see what happened. That was the only one that was viable. None of the others were viable. So that tells me I have at least one male. Now, if I can figure out which ones are the male-female breeding pair, then I can separate them out and maybe I'll get some more. It's not a priority this year because this was just basically an experiment. But I did promise one of the guys that I drive, he had 3 guineas, and he had 1 male and 2 females. And both of his females are gone. He doesn't know what happened to them. So I promised him if I can figure out for sure about a female that's not my breeding female, then I'll give that to him, and he can just, if they have eggs, if they fertilize eggs and have a nest, just give me a few of the eggs to incubate. So he was good with that. So as soon as I can, I'll see if I can't separate out a female. I think I know of one that I can separate out. She's always the last one back in. We call her number 9 because there's 9 guineas and she's always the last one back. So anyway, that 1 guinea egg is on lockdown, and we'll see if it actually hatches. If it does, and I get it through the rough stage, I will give it to my other friend who also, I had given him 7 guineas, and he is down to 1. The thing is that they were going down by the road, and they know that they've lost at least 1 on the road. You had a double yolk this week? Called it twins. Yep. Well, I take it wasn't fertilized then if you don't have a rooster. I take it made in a really nice fried egg sandwich or something like that. Sorry, the 1 guinea is in lockdown. We'll see if it hatches. It should hatch if I got things right. It should hatch within the next day or 2. In theory, anyway. We'll see. Now, I also have in the incubator 2 dozen barnyard mutt eggs. Actually, 2 dozen minus 1, because there was 1 egg that was not doing anything at all. So I took that one out, and so that gives me one shy of 2 dozen that are, we'll see if any of them hatch. So they're in the incubator. I've got the incubator holds 48 eggs. I got flies biting them on my legs. It holds 48 eggs, and I thought I was ordering the smaller incubator that only held 24. When it gets here, it's 48, and it has an egg turner in it. So what I did is I took the chicken eggs are on one side, and the other side had the guinea egg, and I took the trays out of the egg turner. So my chicken eggs are still being turned, but my guinea egg is laying flat like it should be. And it's just, this is an experiment. I've never hatched anything with an incubator before. This is the first time for me. Now the chicken eggs, I believe it's next Saturday. I believe they are due to go on lockdown. So I candled them enough. Oh, hi, Carl. How you doing? North Carolina. Are you hot down there, Carl? It's warm here, I'll tell you. Stupid horse flies. They're biting flies. And they're biting on my legs. The ducks need to be getting out here and doing their job and eating these flies. I'm working on getting them moved down. They've been moved from behind the cabin to down by the guinea coop. Okay. So I have my 13 ducks in the pen at night. During the day, they're let out. And unfortunately, they've gone back up by the cabin. Well, that's where they figure there's shade. And that's where there's water has been. But I need to gradually get them staying away from the cabin. I may have to put a fence around it. Because that's the thing with ducks is they poop everywhere. They don't care. Now, I'm happy to have fertilizer, but I really don't want it where I'm walking. So, anyway, so we're going to work on keeping the ducks down here. That's going to be my whole, where the birds are, the guineas and the ducks and the chickens. They're going to be, that's going to be their main housing area. But they will be free ranging because they're not going to do me. Oh, I've heard about the humidity, and I think we're supposed to have humidity too tomorrow. And I'm trying hard not to get the air conditioners in. I don't know if I can handle it or not, but we'll see. But anyway, yeah. So the birds, they're all going to be housed down here, but they will be free ranging. Okay. Now I know the chicken tractors are all the rage. And I looked at my land and what I've got going on. And honestly, I can't see a chicken tractor working because I don't have any level spots. Okay. It's all hill. There's gullies. It's not going to work for chicken tractors for my chickens or my birds, any of them. So they're going to be free range. They're going to have their home base where I can lock them up at night to keep them safe. But then they're going to be free ranging. Now, that's going to be a risk, I know, but that's one reason why I'm getting these barnyard chickens hatching. So I can let them free range to do what chickens do best, and that's eat the nasty bugs, okay? And then hopefully that will help to keep the pests down around the farm. Now, when it comes to breeding, I'll set up, once I can see how they mature and whatnot, and all, I will be setting up breeding pens, basically, where I can put select roosters and hens together for when I want to breed. Now, when I don't need to breed, I'll just let them have at it, just let them go. Now, if I discover I have a broody, okay, broodies are, in my books, now not for everybody, okay, but for my books, a broody hen is worth her weight in gold. And she will be protected. I will make sure she's got plenty of room, but she will be protected, okay? She may be let out for only short periods of time during the day. I'll have to get that narrowed down a little bit more. But, they are worth their weight in gold. But everything else will be free ranging. Oh, now, don't mind me. I think the heat's starting to get to me now. So that's the plan. If I just got to work on the hen house and get that done. I'm starting to move chickens out of the brooders. Ticks are terrible. Even now, even though I've got the guineas. They've been going down the hill, okay? away from my property. I'm kind of happy about that. They need to stay uphill. So I need to work on getting them to refocus, because I went through that last year, and that's when I lost so many. So I really need to get them to stay up here. I guess I'm going to start bribing them again with the millet. But anyway, the chickens will also help to control ticks. Okay. And the ducks are here for the flies and the mosquitoes and whatnot. And tell me something. Has any 59 degrees? Oh, rub it in, Jerry. Oh, man. Oh, it's raining. Well, we had our rain the other day. I don't remember if we have any in the forecast now. I know. Yes, I do get sick from the heat. So, but I'm. It's not real bad just yet. It's not real bad. But when I'm done here, I'm going back in the house in front of the fan until things start to cool down a little bit, and then I'll be dealing with it. I mean, I do the morning chores. I get, do what I have to do with the livestock. And this morning I took care of doing some dishes. We do have to fill water bottles again. And that's another thing I need to do. I need to send an email to the extension office, not the extension office, the conservation office guy, to get some clarification on what they want me to do. Like, I didn't get a list of where I can get materials from or anything, and that's something that he had mentioned. So I got to look into that. Your sister's sick? Oh. Is she sick from the heat, or is she just sick? And hopefully she's not sick from COVID. I know that the vast majority of people who get it don't get real sick, but there's some unfortunate who do get hit hard by it. So in the morning I do the chores. When it's hot, I'm hiding, and then come evening around dinner time, or just after dinner time, that's when the livestock will get additional attention. I make sure that they have water, the horses get hay. I'm still feeding hay to the horses in the morning and in the evening, because the grass is not there yet, okay, to be able to sustain them just on grass. But hopefully it'd be nice if this time next year they can be even more on grass than they are on hay. But I'm very fortunate that my neighbor, I asked him, okay, are you good with hay? Everybody we had a major this week hay mowing bonanza going on around here, because it has been raining and raining and raining. And when you're cutting hay, you got to have dry weather. So this week they had the dry weather, and we had some showers. Was it Thursday night? Maybe a little bit on Friday too. But everybody, I mean, you see every field with a tractor in it. They're just mowing frenzy, okay? And it didn't take long. My neighbor, he cut his on Thursday and Friday a week ago is when he cut his. And he was baling. Was he baling on Sunday? Well, no, I think he was baling on Monday. Yeah, because I hadn't been down there, so I didn't see that he had cut. And I was surprised to see that he had it ready to go, ready for the baler when I drove out on Monday. So, and it's just every farm we passed, where there was hay, and it all looked good hay. It looked like really good hay. So that was an awesome, awesome thing. Anybody that's got livestock and can't grow their own hay, you know how wonderful that is. So hopefully everybody's got good hay this year, because they got it cut just, I think, in the nick of time. It gets to a point where it doesn't have as much nutrition. And it was heading that way, but we got that break. So that was awesome. So I hopefully will be able to get hay. I can't get my hay in until after this floor is done. And I need to talk to the guys and find out what's going on. I need to clear out the barn floor and take up my temporary floor so it's ready for them to do the floor. The walls, hey, they don't have to be done right away. Yeah, it would be nice. It would be so nice to have my walls done and my doors in. It really would be. But right now, the priority is the floor. Once the floor is done, then I can get my hay in and I can get it stored for the winter. So, but not until then. So hopefully I'll have it done by September at the latest, because I want to get my hay in by September. Son. Oh, did I miss? Oh, I can't talk. Tomatoes and cucumbers attempting to take over garden. Yeah, my tomatoes have. That's what I knew. There was something I forgot to mention today, and that was the garden. I'm not used to talking about a garden, but yes, I have a garden. And going to temporarily pot them on the side. Oh, really? Oh my! Not enough room. Gotta give them room to grow, Carl. Yeah, they like the sun, they like the heat, so long as they're getting the water. I've got my zucchinis. I have little baby zucchinis. So hopefully in a few days I'm going to be having I have not had zucchini in so long. So they have frozen zucchini in the grocery stores up in New Jersey. I haven't been able to see it down here. I haven't seen it yet. So I've had no zucchini since last summer. So I'm hoping that I can get enough so I can freeze some. Tomatoes will stop producing when it gets this hot. Oh, really? Oh, wow. I wonder if there's a certain type of tomato that would do better in the heat. I've got two different kinds of tomatoes going. One is a determinate and one is an indeterminate. And don't ask me which is which. I'd have to look at the tag. Most of the people around here do round bales. Most of the people. But I get, I have one guy that does sell square bales, and it's the square bales that I put in the barn. Last year I bought 100 at $3 a piece. Now, this year I'm hoping I can swing to get 125 at least, if not 150. I ought to be able to store that much in here. It would be like, I don't know if you can see, that's the loft here. And there's also behind this wall here, the loft goes back. So I have a small loft. Well, I guess it would be a 3/4, but it's not. I don't have a lot of headroom up there, but it's enough where I can store some hay. And then right here where I'm sitting, this section would be filled with hay. And it would go right up to the loft. And then we put the remaining hay up in the loft. I've got the full length of the barn, and then this half loft in the over here on this backside. So it would be a 3/4 loft, I guess. And that's the whole intent was for hay storage. When I was telling my Amish friend about building the barn and what I wanted, he couldn't quite picture it, and he wasn't sure. I know he thought I was crazy, because it's not a typical barn around here. But I knew what I wanted, and he built exactly what I wanted. He didn't give me any argument about it. He just wanted to understand that what I wanted, what I was looking at. So this, where I am right now, this is supposed to have a cement floor. So hopefully that will go through, and we'll get that done, and then I can start storing the hay. The only issue I have, and I haven't figured out how I'm going to address it, is that when you get the frost and the snow on the roof, and it starts to melt, you get condensation on the underside of the metal roof, and then it kind of drips. and we can't have that dripping on the hay. So I haven't figured out if I'm just going to run plastic under the roof, or if I'm going to try and tarp the hay. You don't really want the tarp laying down on the hay, if at all possible, because the hay will have condensation as well, and that's what happened with some of my hay this last winter, because I had to store it outside while they were finishing up the roof section here, this part of the barn. I had to store it outside, and it had to be under a tarp. So, and I lost some of it to mold. So, and you can't feed that to livestock. Tent shelter. Yep. Things have grown a little bit, haven't they, Christy? Yeah, and I'm still building. We have guineas, but we don't have time or fleas here. You don't. Oh, maybe you meant ticks. You don't have ticks or fleas. Too dry for them. Oh, that is one good thing about the dryness, isn't it? I mean, I don't mind sharing if you'd like one, or some rather. Foot long zucchini was the first thing harvested last week. Oh, really? Foot long? Wow. That's a hefty zucchini. I like them a little bit younger. I only have 2 zucchini plants planted. I've got 8 tomato plants, I think. Something like that. I've got, is it 4 or 6 pepper plants, 1 cucumber. So, and actually I did good just getting that much in. There's so much I wanted to plant, and I just don't know if I'm going to get it done. I wanted to plant some pumpkin and other squash up at the top of my driveway, because I got this hill that comes to a point where the road goes up and the driveway comes down, and I kind of wanted to plant something there. I don't know if I'll get it done. Not this year. There's always next year, right? So that's what I'm going to look at doing. Oh, out west, I didn't see you were in. How you doing? Oh, I was reading the comment. It didn't even click that it was Out West Homestead. I tell you, sometimes I'm just so dense, you know. But that is wonderful that you don't have ticks. Well, if you have guineas and you don't have ticks, are the guineas eating something else in the way of an insect? Does the hill have good drainage? That's a good question. Yeah, you use a rainwater catchment system, though, don't you? I don't know. It seems to me, didn't you just have some rain not that long ago? I've been so busy, I've had a hard time keeping up with everybody. So I just don't know anymore. Do what you can, do with what life throws at you. That's pretty much it, Christy, isn't it? And we've had a few things thrown at us this year, haven't we? But you know, at least we're going in the right direction. You know, and I just hope next year I'll have a little bit more. You know, I have set goals in my head. They're not written down. I know everybody says write your goals down. I don't. You know, the biggest goal was the barn. Okay, and we are mostly there. Another goal was the goats. Got the goats. Another goal was the chickens, the guineas, the ducks. We got them. They're not totally housed yet. Matter of fact, I put some more chicks down in the goat shelter last night, and I think I'm going to be moving the rest of the chicks from that brooder down into the goat shelter, because the hen house isn't done. I don't even have the floor done yet, and with the heat, it's going to take me even longer. I had wanted to have it done by now, but what are you going to do? You know, I'm one person, and you know, if If I had the money to hire someone to do some of this stuff, I would. But right now, I don't have the money. So I have to do it. My Amish friends, they're busy working. They're trying to support their families. And not only are they working at a job, they also have their own chores and things that need to be done at home for their family. So, I mean, if I really needed them, they probably would be here for me. But I've not pushed them for anything. And they've been pretty good. They've helped me out with other little things, out and about. And it's like, hey, they told me about the auction, right? The auction where I made my first money on the homestead. So that is the big thing right there. I saw that I can do this. I can make money so long as I can manage all this livestock. Okay. Well, okay. The horses, well, they're fertilizer manufacturers. That's what the horses are. But everything else is here. It is for our benefit to help feed us and also to make an income for the homestead so that it's not costing us money to take care of them. And that's the goal. They need to pay for themselves. And right now, the ducks are the closest thing to doing that at this point. Hopefully the guineas will, but they are hard to nail down when it comes to the breeding. I pretty much have to have them figure out where the breeding pair is and get them segregated. One more thing on the list. But anyway, I've been on here for over an hour, and I really do. I'm getting hot, so therefore I'm starting to ramble, and that's not good. Who wants to hear anybody ramble? And I know you don't want to hear me ramble. So I am going to end this now. Okay. So y'all stay cool. We got this heat wave coming through. And for those of you down having to deal with a tropical depression, or I don't know if it's hurricane yet, I haven't got the update. Begins with a C, Christabel or something like that. I don't remember. Anyway, if you're down there, take care, take necessary precautions, prepare. Okay. And I will see you all next week. And I got to stop promising to put a video up because every time I turn around, something comes up and I don't get it done. But we'll see. I might surprise you this week. Okay. So I'll talk to you later, people. Have a good one.